What's going on, guys? HK here for another video. Today I'm going to be showing you everything wrong with my SC300. So the first thing that's wrong with the car is the paint. I don't really need to explain that to you because, I mean, you can see for yourself here. The car currently has, I think, 4 different colors on it. So we got the maroon 1997 plus bumpers. We got the original teal mist. We got the green side skirts. And we got the silver mirror. A little background on the car. I bought it about maybe a year ago, a little bit more. It's a 1995 Lexus SC300, obviously. After the body kit, I went ahead and purchased some bigger wheels. These are Sparco DS2s. I've never heard of them before, but I saw them on Craigslist and I got a good deal on them. They're real, genuine 2-piece wheels made by Sparco. Just don't have the center caps, but you can see they're called DS2s right there. Got them for a steal. The only problem with those is they are a square setup, so eventually I'd like to get them rebarreled in the back or something, but nah, that's a different project. I'm cool with running a square stance for now. You might ask what led me to get a silver mirror. The previous mirror, I guess, got clipped from like a motorcyclist or something. I don't know. The car came from California and lane splitting's legal over there, so I wouldn't be surprised if like a motorcycle hit it or something. The other side is cracked, but I'm not really too worried about it. I think some body fill can fix this. The OEM color is nice, but obviously the paint is not. So I kind of sanded this down a little bit, but this is what it looks like just naturally. You can kind of see it flaking off there. It's not pretty by any means. So one main flaw with the exterior is the right side quarter panel. So you can tell here, it's obviously dented and it's starting to rust because whenever it got dented, the paint chipped away and the previous owner never bothered on doing anything about it. So over time it started to rust. I think what I can do is get in through the trunk, hammer this out as much as I can, obviously sand it down, put some Bondo on it, do some rust treatment, and then go from there. I mean, hopefully the car looks better than it did before. Part of me says to take it to a professional, but I don't think I can do any more damage than it already has, so I'm gonna give it a shot before I do that. Also, the clear coat on this side is pretty much screwed too. You can see it a little bit better on this side than the other. My plan currently is just to sand down the entire car. Like I said, try to fix that dent as much as possible. I might try to wrap it myself. I'm kind of debating on that, I should say. I've heard horror stories from multiple of my friends about trying to wrap their own cars, but who knows? I'm gonna start with the roof on my Beamer probably. It's like $60 for the materials. So give it a shot. If that comes out halfway decent, then I'll give this thing a shot. If that's not the case, then I'll get it professionally wrapped. Because the car really needs to be one color. So I basically covered everything wrong on the exterior. Now let's move on to the interior of the car. All right. Well, you can see right off the bat, these seats are pretty much gone. I mean, the foam is perished. Turn this beeping off real quick. The foam is perished. The leather's obviously torn. This seat's seen better days. I mean, that was probably the worst thing with this car, other than the steering wheel, which is replaced now with an IS300 steering wheel. These were probably the worst thing in the interior. So what I went ahead and did is I purchased a set of S2000 seats. This is a quote common mod in the SC300 world. I've seen a couple of guys do it. It looks really nice. I mean, obviously you can tell. It looks like an OEM sports setup almost, and it's a little bit lighter than the Supra seats. The only thing with these is it's bolted in only on like one side. So obviously this is not here for someone to sit in, it's just here for mock purposes. I need to get the brackets custom made, so That's basically all that needs to happen with these seats. Other than that, like I said, one of the brackets already bolts in, so it's pretty much halfway bolts in, if you will. Nothing a little bit of welding won't fix, but it looks a lot better than these seats. So like I said, the steering wheel was in pretty bad condition, so I went ahead and swapped in an IS300 steering wheel. It was from an automatic, so I had the buttons to upshift and downshift, so I went ahead and just like vinyl wrapped those. Looks a lot better. The car on the inside has, I think, Pop Performance. I forgot their company name, but it's something like that. They make a, let me turn it on for you here. They make a AC unit for this car. Basically, it's a touchscreen unit that replaces the old unit that tends to basically like leak LCD fluid and whatever, so you can't really see the screen anymore, but this is a really good replacement. The only thing is it's very, very rare to find. Like, I didn't buy this. It came with the car, luckily. I think that they're discontinued now too, so maybe you can get your hands on them. If you can, I'll leave a link in the description for it, for any of you SD guys out there. Moving on. You might ask, where's my door panel? So I do have a good door panel. It's at the house. The only thing is, as you can tell, my window regulator or motor, one of the two went out. So the motor was working, but it was just getting like very low voltage. I think either the motor failed, and plus the window regulator is like all plastic and stuff, so that might be the issue as well. Who knows? I'm just waiting to get my hands on another assembly. They go for like 200 bucks on eBay, and I don't see myself spending 200 bucks when I can just put a piece of wood in there for now. So once I can get my hands on some for maybe under 100 bucks, I'll swap it in there and get my windows working again. In the meantime, I never bothered to put on my door panel. So one thing you might have not noticed right off the bat, this car has 255,495 miles. Now in the normal world, that is a lot, but mind you, this is a 90s Lexus, so a lot of people don't know that this is the same chassis and motor as a non-turbo Supra. Same chassis as a turbo Supra too, but the motor is from a non-turbo Supra, transmission's from a non-turbo Supra. Basically the whole car, suspension, everything minus the body panels, interior and exterior, is basically a Supra. So for under $5,000, you can pick yourself up a 5-speed. For under like $2,000-$3,000, you can pick yourself up an automatic and have a Supra chassis on a budget. Some might say that the fact that this car has traveled 250,000 miles is something wrong with this car, but this thing is a perfect candidate for a 2JZ GTE swap, which is maybe what I want to do down the road if I don't go with something else. But like I said, the motor's direct bolt-in. You can run it on the factory ECU. Just upgrade the turbo on it. That way you're not dealing with that sequential twin turbo system, and you can run a good 400 or 500 horsepower in this car. Really, the only limiting thing in this car is the factory W58 transmission. It's been said to only hold about like maybe 400-500 pound-feet of torque to the wheels, but that's really easy to accomplish with a single turbo 2JZ. Ideally, I would want a 6-speed Getrag out of a turbo Supra, but those are like $8,000. I mean, I can't justify spending more than I paid for this car on a transmission for it. The cheap route out is going with a 350Z transmission, the CD009. Again, I can't justify putting a Nissan transmission in this either. And the third budget option is what I did before when I had my original SC300. It was an automatic and I swapped it over to a 5-speed. I used the transmission out of a Mark III Turbo Supra, or in Japan, the Toyota Chaser also came with it. It's a R154 transmission. It's a 5-speed transmission. It's out of a truck, so it shifts like shit, but it can handle some decent power, maybe 600-700 horsepower. But the problem is it shifts like shit, so that's really my only drawback with that. I mean, I've experienced it, and this shifter is a lot better. So basically what I plan to do is just upgrade the clutch in this transmission, not launch it too hard, and see how much horsepower I can hold after I turbo it. I have like 80% of a turbo kit for this motor, the 2JZ GE, sitting in my garage. So I think it would be kind of cool to single turbo this existing motor with 250,000 miles on it and see how it reacts. All I really need to do is pick up a piggyback ECU system to kind of adjust timing and fuel and go from there. Now that's basically everything wrong with my 5-speed SC300. I showed you guys the exterior, the interior. Might as well give you guys a little sound clip now. You know, overall, I'm pretty happy with the car. It's reliable as of right now. I mean, it has its flaws cosmetically, but the only thing holding me back from just turboing it now is how reliable it is. I mean, it's my second car. Just in case something happens to my other one, I always have this one to rely on, you know? But at the same time, this thing's slow as shit and it needs some boost. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. My name is HK and I'm out.